Okay, next topic. Let's talk about password history and password security. The first place in history. How you doing? How's everyone doing so far? Doing so far so good? We doing all right? Let's keep going. So in 1961, we see MIT's first multi-user computer. This is just a server, like an old mainframe that can handle multiple users at once. Now, this service had something called a message of the day. So when you log in, they'd rotate through like 10 different message of the days. Welcome to the university. Thank you for using our computer. There was a bug in this operating system, though. There was like a buffer overflow type of problem where the last message of the day would be random passwords from other users. So literally, you would just log in and log out, log in and log out, and every couple of messages would be another user's password. This is where Per Torstein, he's a member. Did I get your name right? How do you pronounce your last name? So Per.
Crazy password guy.
Per, the crazy password guy. This is where Per is part of the password hashing competition. He's one of the world's experts in passwords cryptography that helps a group of other cryptographers to decide on which algorithm will be standard for password storage. This is a crucial standard around building a login system. So we have a lot of famous people. He's famous to me. Good to see you, Per. And so 1970, Crypt 3 comes out. This is a like old school Unix, and they ripped this from an old M209 decryption device from World War II. It doesn't get much worse than this. This is a really bad algorithm that was already broken by the time they ported it, but it was all we had. So these are really easily crackable, weak ways to store a password. Now, 78, we see that Crypt 3 is released. It's now DES-based. And at this era, it's a lot better now. So it's still like, by today's standard, it's bad. But this is the first time we see the crucial cryptographic pieces of password storage. Stretching, salting, and a real password policy. So we're getting started here. We got something. It's horrible. But for that era, it was the best we had, best in the world, actually. By the 80s, we have a password database limited to only the root user. That early MIT system, I could literally read the password file for the entire system. So for the first time now in the 80s, we see that password file protected by root user only. So it took a while. So there's a decade of no real advances, and in 91, we see MD5 message-based password storage. Let me jump ahead a little bit. In 99, bcrypt shows up. This is the first robust password storage algorithm that some people think that we should still use today. I am not one of them. We'll talk about that in just a second. And then let's jump ahead a bit. We see PBKDF2, a NIST or US standard. We see, what else? Let's just jump ahead here. By 2016, a very famous professional, Dr. Akue from Dropbox, he releases an article on how to use bcrypt with a certain work factor, pre-hashing, to do password storage. For the first time in history, I'm given clear guidance in how to do password storage cryptography in a way that is still robust even today. So real good password storage cryptography is less than 10 years old. We've come a long way in a short amount of time. And now in 2022, around this, just a few years ago, Argon 2 ID was chosen by Per and the rest of the password hashing competition. And in 2022, I defeated one of the other members of that group, Jeremy Gosney, in a rap battle about password storage on Twitter. So this is the article from Dr. Devdatta Akue. It is a seminal article about how to do password storage crypto, better than any article I've ever seen in that era. So Argon 2 ID is now everywhere. This is the current most modern password storage algorithm. Multi-factor is on the rise, making password storage a little bit less important. And let's talk about Jeremy. So here we go. I don't like bcrypt, and that's a fact. Argon 2 ID, it's where it's at. 72-byte limit can kiss my ass. and low RAM usage, no thanks, I'll pass. I'm just playing around on Twitter. I swear a little bit too much. I'm Sicilian, I apologize. So all of a sudden, Jeremy Gosney shows up from the past. He's a famous cryptographer, and he's like, Argon to KDF, and that's no cap. If you're doing real-time auth, you need bcrypt in your app. Memory hardness has no meat, it's all fat. For resistance to acceleration, cache hardness is where it's at. I'm like, yeah, it's on, Jeremy. So I'm like, well, Jeremy, Argon 2 ID won the password competition. For password storage, you need a little revision. Bcrypt truncates, and that's a fact. It's a blank limit. It's easier to attack. Argon 2 ID has better password cracking resistance, and I'm here to help, Jeremy. Here's a reference. The password, oh, he did not like, he texted me and like, oh, Jim, it is so on, dude. I'm like, all right. So Jeremy is a world-famous password cracker. Which one of us is the cracker? It seems you forgot. And a Hashcat developer? I think you're not. And the password competition? I was a judge for that too. With all these credentials, who's us to argue? Whoa, that's a pretty good hit. And my response? The other judges outvoted you, and 1 + 1 still equals 2. Oh, victory! Sorry, Jeremy. But it's... There you go. All right, Pear, get up here. Come on, get up here, Pear. Sorry, remember, history, selfies, and tweet. Let's get down here. You ready?
Yep.
With the audience, come on, with the audience.
Okay.
We got. Come on, yeah! Pear has been passionate about password security. Every day I've ever talked to him, he's someone he's dove into that topic deeper than anyone I know. Thanks for all the great work you do for our industry. And I got to say, Jeremy Gosney, he's a good friend. He's one of the world's best cryptographers I've ever met. He's brilliant. And we're just playing around, having fun.